So I was gonna do this one for astronaut James Lovell. In memory of, Respect2. And as I was, because I saw the other day somewhere pop up that he had passed, and I was like, oh man, I always liked him. As one of my buddies. Which I, started thinking about the handful of times that I met him. And how much I, my whole life looked up to him. And it really it made me think, stop and think, to appreciate all the finest details, life and, the small things that make a big difference in, maybe a young, bright mind of me. When I first met him, I was, in fourth grade. He came to my school in Vernon Hills, which is right next to the town that he lived in, Lake Forest, where my dad built a bunch of homes. He, we did a space shuttle program. The town I went to had it was the second best city in the country to live in, Vernon Hills, Illinois, and the school was the second best. Libertyville was the second best in the nation at the time, and which I think now it's like the sixth or the ninth or whatever, from whatever study that keeps popping up that I've looked up. But anyway, so Hawthorne, they did a mock space shuttle program at fourth grade, and this is 91, 92 maybe, yeah, something like that, I don't know. And I was already a fan of NASA, at that time, and wanted to be an astronaut, scientist and an astronaut is what I wanted to be. And then we did this space program, and we built a shuttle which was to scale, and a mission control outside, and we slept in the gym for like 3 days maybe, and did nothing but projects, and it was amazing experience. And that was pretty much before internet was a thing, and nobody really knew what it was. But we got to talk to Cape Canaveral on a special setup that our school did just for this event, and it was memorable. And I know that there has been many, that there's been astronauts from my area. At fourth grade, when I did that, I wanted to be pretty much a Navy or an Air Force test pilot, which I just looked up, because I knew that, Jim Lovell was a pilot. And so I was like, I'm just going to look him up and see what's up. And it's like, oh yeah, test pilot. That's probably where I got the idea that I wanted to be a test pilot from, in fourth grade, was probably from him. When they introduced him and probably said, oh, test pilot. I was like, that's it, that's what I want to do. And then just hanging out with him, because he was there for, many different times back then, through us doing that project. And I had met him maybe later when he came to do speeches or whatever, but at different, and maybe even in different cities, and when he happened to just stumble upon him giving a speech somewhere, or him just somewhere, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember you. And then he's like, yeah, I remember you. Multiple times he had remembered me too, so that made it even cooler. I think I might have even caddied for him at Royal Melbourne. Caddied for some cool people there. Ron Revere, Michael Jordan. That was a pretty cool job as a teenager. One of my favorite jobs was as a caddy at Royal Melbourne. But anyway, so this is prayers and blessings to James Lovell. He was an astronaut, and did a handful of space missions. Apollo 13, two Gemini missions, maybe 3 Apollo missions. But he had been known as a hero, and I always looked up to him, and he was a hero to me since I was a kid. So that was one of my few heroes that I had looked up to in my life. J.B. Hunt, I looked up to him my whole life as well. Maybe a couple other fighter pilots or ex-pilots I had liked as a kid. Certain maybe generals, but maybe. But anyway, so prayers and blessings for Jim Lovell, and I am grateful to have met him a handful of times in my life, and definitely see that he had been a big inspiration to me. Now that I look back and think about it, so blessings to him. Thank you, Shane Michael, Row 1. Yar.